Like many people, the holiday season is my favorite time of year. It's a time to be with family, create memories, and just really enjoy ourselves. Over the years, I've realized the holidays are not the same for everyone. My good friend Krista lost her dad around this time last year. Now, a year later, we've decided to sit down and publicly talk about her experience. Losing a parent, a friend, anyone is never easy, especially during the holidays. I encourage you all to tune in to a healthy, much needed conversation about coping with grief and loss and being a better source of support for those in need. Please feel free to leave a comment. We'd love to continue this conversation.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, no problem.
I know, because this can be like super emotional and touchy.
Yeah, and I was like hesitant about doing it, but I think it's important to talk about because I think a lot of people are struggling with this and just finding ways to cope during the holiday season is tough, you know, when you lose someone that's super close to you, you know.
Right. So how was Thanksgiving? That was your first?
That was like
your
tough.
birthday was too.
Because, you know, my dad died in December, so I've been coping all year, but this is like the entrance to the holiday season.
Right.
And it's like the first probably major holiday without him. So it was a little bit more emotional than I anticipated. It kind of like snuck up on me. And it was that way for both me and my mom. We were just on the day of Thanksgiving, just physically and emotionally drained. Like we went ahead with our regular tradition and cooked a full meal, and we were like, why did we do that? It was just too much, you know? But I mean, during the holiday season, you really feel that void a lot more because it's like, oh, it's really family oriented and you're expected to get together with your family, and you know, he's not there, and he had such a big personality that, we just definitely missed him a lot.
Just like, I just want to go back, like from when it happened about a year ago now, how has that been like every step? Like, because even when I found out, you know, we just met each other. Yeah. We literally just met each other like a month?
Yeah, it was like a month.
So, but because of the experiences that I've been through with even closer friends, I knew I wasn't there for them.
Right.
So even though I didn't know you, I knew the right thing to do is to show up, is to do something.
Right.
That's what I knew. So how was that for you? Like all of that, you know, did you have people, you know, your friends come out and help you, or like what did you think when I was there? Like,
I think they reacted the same way that I've reacted in the past. Like, I think a lot of times as millennials, we really don't know how to react because a lot of us haven't experienced that ourselves. Yeah. So, I mean, I think they reacted in regular ways. Like my close friends, they were like, you know, a lot of times they would reach out to me and be like, oh, let me know if you need anything. Or I think that they just reached out to check on me. But I really appreciated, like, for example, when you were like, oh, I can come over, like the night my dad died, you were like, oh, I can come over. Like, I just wish instead of people saying like, hey, like, let me know if you need anything, just doing it. Just like, oh, hey, I made a meal, here you go. Or, hey, I'm coming over. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just waiting for me to ask you, because it's just like, you don't really want to impose on anybody, you know? So, I mean, I appreciated everything that my friends did, but I think me too, like I wouldn't have known how to react, and everybody grieves differently. So maybe some people don't want anybody with them, but it's nice when people just offer help, or, you know, like if I had kids, for example, like, hey, I'm going to grab your kids for a few hours and give you a break, you know, stuff like that.
Yes. And it's just crazy because obviously we're in our 20s and unfortunately our parents, right, are getting older. So unfortunately it's part of life, whether it's our parent, or our grandparent. So I think us in our 20s and our 30s, we need to just realize like, hey, life changes. This is a part of life. Right. And we need to be there for them.
Right.
Not even words, just be there.
And I think like seeing my mom and how her friends reacted, I think as you get older, you kind of realize, hey, just jump in there. Like my grandmother passed away, and like her friends just flocked to the hospital, and they just knew that's what to do. Like a lot of other people, like I think me, myself also, is just like you kind of want to back off. You're not quite sure how to. You don't know if people want you up there like that. And I think you probably kind of know your friend and they need that support, but it's nice actually to have people around and kind of distract you, because I thought it would be kind of weird to have like so many people around, like at the hospital. I mean, you do need that space with your person that's passing away, but sometimes it's nice to have like that distraction there.
Yeah, I've gone through this with friends, and I don't want to say I was oblivious, but it's like I almost brushed it under the rug. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah,
so I avoided it.
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable. You don't know how to deal with it, so you kind of like don't deal with it sometimes. I think.
And sometimes not dealing with it can be an issue.
Right. And it's like, I think a lot of times people don't want to bring it up. And I've even realized that like with people at work that have lost someone, it's like, should I bring it up? Like, is that going to like make them sad? And it's like, I think my mom put it a good way. It's like, you know, people are scared to bring it up. Like, you know, like you forgot about that person or, you know, that's going to make you sad immediately. It's like, no, I want to remember that person and let's not be weird about it. Let's just talk about it, you know?
Wow. So you're talking about a lot about like what people can do. And what others can do. What do you do? What have you done this entire year to cope with it?
What have I done? I mean, I think me and my mom have been big support system for each other. So like when I'm having my down moments or whatever, I will talk to my mom about it. And I think a lot for me, like I've just leaned on my faith a lot. I'll pray about it. And just, I think with time too, I'm getting a little bit better. At first it was really rough. Just a lot of regret, wishing I would have spent more time and stuff like that. But I think I've just been trying to be as positive as possible. But I'm also just trying to let myself feel what I feel too. It's like, if I need to cry, I'm going to cry. Like if I need to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. Like, so.
And we're just going on our 1 year. But do you have anything planned? Maybe go visit the burial site or?
We don't have anything planned. We decided, because me and my family, we usually do like a little Christmas get together and we play games and stuff. We thought about having it the same weekend, like maybe a distraction. Me and my mom were like, actually, we just don't want to have any commitments that weekend. So we're just gonna chill and do what we feel like doing. We don't want to like say, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna see how we feel and just do it that way.
Yeah, we're talking about it, but I just wonder like how can we learn from this?
I think it's just being there for that person, just check in. Like I like when people just text me and be like, hey, like how are you doing? Or give me a call or, you know, like, hey, let's go out to eat and, you know, just check on me. Like
even during Thanksgiving this year, and even actually last year during Christmas when I went home, I was like even a bit hesitant to post on social media, to be honest, because I was like, I don't want to post too much of my family, my dad, or even when I would talk to you, I didn't want to talk too much about my dad because it's just like, well, you know, you don't have that in your life anymore. So I didn't want you to like see that. So I would be like hesitant.
I think at first I was more sensitive to people's parents and like what they have versus what I have. But actually, like, I don't think about that anymore. And I just thought about that recently. Like, at first I was like, man, like, you know, they have both their parents, but then it's like, you can't compare. And at this point, I don't even think about it. Like, if you were to talk about your dad, I wouldn't even like, it wouldn't like dawn on me. But social media is a factor. Like when I do go on there, like, it's like, oh, like they have like their whole family there. Like, especially like if I'm like having
like Father's Day.
Yeah, because grieving is like up and down. Like some days I'll be like totally fine. Like, I mean, I still miss him, but I'm not like sad. But then I'll have like something that just sparks something and I'll just cry out of nowhere or, you know, but the holidays was definitely like a down, like a valley, you know? So it's like, but I know myself too, so I try not to get on social media as much. I think it's I feel like people should just act regular. I feel like it's up to me to be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be on social media right now. Let me just go do something else, you know?
And I really like the people that, like, for example, Father's Day, they still choose to, you can still make a post, you know?
Right.
You can still celebrate your father because his time here, he was a father to you. You know?
Right.
So I appreciate when people do that.
And I think different people, I mean, obviously, like, this is just my experience. I mean, other people are experiencing it differently. So, like, some people don't have any problem going on social media. Other people, like, I was listening to a podcast and the girl acts like, you know, she doesn't go on social media at all. Like, she kind of acts like the day isn't happening. So, I mean, different strokes for different folks, you know, like whatever you have to do to get through, you know, do that.
Yeah, and I want to talk more about like just the friend aspect of it. I think sometimes like I said, we forget. We just get caught up with the holidays, the spending the money. We just get caught up and we're not thinking of, oh, my friend, you know, may not be as happy this holiday season.
Yeah. And I think it is good to keep like be mindful of people, and it's hard because it's like first of all my friends are pretty much spread out, so like I'm not in their face, so like they're like you said, like they're having dinner with their families.
Just a simple reminder.
Yeah, and my mom said like a lot of her friends, they texted her on Thanksgiving and they were just like, hey, like I'm thinking of you, and it's just nice to know that people are thinking of you. You know,
I think my problem is I think about you, but I don't want to bother you. I don't want to make it. I in my head I'm like it's awkward, so I don't want to.
But I mean, the person's already thinking about it. Like I'm already thinking about my dad. Like it's nice that just to know that you're thinking of me and supporting me. Like
And I told you recently, one of my friends lost her dad, and so it was interesting because I was thinking of you. I was thinking, oh, how is Krista dealing with the situation? But instead, this time I texted the other friend.
Right. Because
I don't talk to her as much, and I said, let me check on her.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
So it's interesting, and I just know as an outsider, because I've told you I haven't lost anyone in my direct family.
I think a lot of people our age haven't lost anybody in their home, so they haven't really experienced it for themselves, so they don't know how to care for somebody else around them.
Another one of my friends, he lost his dad, and that was a different relationship. The dynamic was a different relationship. It was actually my ex, but for that one, I knew just go. I just knew just go. It didn't matter. I was actually in Springfield when that happened. I went. Nothing mattered. I just knew I needed to be there at the funeral. And I remember I sent like flowers, and that was the first time I really was like, oh my gosh. And I think maybe because there was a close relationship there. So that's why I felt the need to do that. But we just get caught up, especially us at this age, or we're thinking about our career, we're thinking about relationships, but this is real life.
Right.
Like, this is real life, and it's a part of life, and we need to learn how to deal with it and how to be supportive. And just be mindful.
Right.
Just be mindful. That's like the best way I can put it.
And I think a lot of people, like you, for example, I think people that haven't lost anybody, just be really appreciative of the family that you do have around you. Because like, even though my dad was somewhat sickly, it just like, he had a fast decline. Like I would have never known that last Christmas was actually the Christmas before that, that Christmas was the last Christmas, that Thanksgiving last year was the last Thanksgiving, so it's just like, hold those people close. And that's what I'm really trying to think about this year. It's like, okay, I'm sad, but appreciate my mom that's here, because like a lot of people don't have both parents anymore. I know someone that's my age that has lost both his parents within a few years. And it's like, be appreciative of who you have, appreciate your parents, appreciate your siblings. They may be young, something could happen to them, your nieces and nephews. Just really appreciate your family, hold them close. I know like holidays can be annoying. Sometimes like your family gets on your nerves, but just try to like,
that part,
just
for real.
Try to appreciate them,
A lot of people avoid going home. They're like, oh, I gotta go back to my mama's house.
Right.
But you still have your mom.
Right.
So be happy your mom's annoying you.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing, like you talked about support, like usually like talk about your parents. I don't care about you talking about your parents. I don't like when people are like just constantly complaining about their parents. I'm like, you have your parents.
And also I think it's super important during the holidays, we just even take care of ourselves as individuals, because a lot of us are dealing with personal battles, that we don't talk about, that only we deal with them behind closed doors. And it's just of course we all know we talk about mental health, but it is very important. Suicide is just, it has been on the rise, and it's always the people that you least expect it from. So I think it's just super important to be supportive and check in on people. Check in on people. And that just goes back to being supportive. You haven't heard from somebody, or even if you have, they're posting, check in on them. How are you doing? Just because you never know, you truly never know what people are dealing with.
And I always think like, if someone crosses your mind, just reach out to them, because you just never know. Like that might be like, for me, I have my faith, that might be God nudging you like, hey, like maybe you should just check in on that person. Like just make sure that they're doing okay. And just because a lot of people are having fun and this is a happy time of year, like it's not a happy time of year for everybody.
So you've already dealt with Thanksgiving. That's one holiday down. what are your plans for Christmas, and how do you plan about going about it?
This year we're just gonna take it easy. We're just gonna cook a few things. We're actually talking about switching it up a little bit, maybe making some crab legs instead of like doing a ham and doing too much. Just doing a few different dishes, just chilling. Maybe we'll watch Hallmark movies all day and just relax.
And enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, just be easy. This time around we just made so many desserts and just did way too much, and it was just a lot. Like, it was getting to the point where we were forgetting to put things in the oven. It's like we had prepped it, we didn't cook it. It was just like, all right.
Your mind is all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking about it, but you're like, oh, we're gonna enjoy our Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It's like, let's just do things the way we always did it.
It's like,
it's gonna be fine. It's like
no, let's deal with it.
And that's what I really like. I mean, obviously, cope in your own way, do what you want to do, but I would say just do what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to cry, cry. If you need to talk about it, but just be yourself. I think a lot of times I try to hide it. I don't want like other people to be sad, but it's like, if I'm sad, I'm sad. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I think like I was trying to be so normal. Oh my God. I was trying to be so normal on Thanksgiving, and it was just like, I just had to cry. Like, my mom's like, what's wrong? Like, I miss my dad.
Yeah.
You know. So I just had to cry. I think it's just like everything just kind of got to me out of nowhere. It was like that morning, it was just like, man, I like really missed dad. Like, I had missed him the night before when we were prepping, but it's
not the same.
It's tough, you know.
It's not the same. I don't know. I'm not okay, but.
Yeah, it's just like, my mom was like, yeah, it's hard, you know, and we just kind of talked about it. But I felt a lot better after crying. And it's like, you know, just feel what you feel. It's like, you can't just like try to cover it up or just do what make other people comfortable. It's like, I lost this person, I'm sad, be sad, you know?
Yeah. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. What? You are like seriously super strong for doing this. I haven't experienced this, so I can never even open my mouth to say I understand, because I don't understand.
And that's what.
Does that irritate you?
I think my favorite thing that my grandma left me with is like, what was it exactly that she said? It was like, never tell somebody that you understand what they're going through, because even if, like, say somebody else lost their dad, like my relationship with my dad and your relationship with your dad isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? So you don't understand exactly what I'm going through. Don't ever say, you know, I get what you're going through. I understand what you're going through. Like, just be supportive. Like, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you. Like, I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to spend time with you. You know, here's dinner. Like, just help that person. Just be there for that person. But, you know, and a lot of times we don't even need you to say anything. Just hang out with us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think a lot of times people are trying to find the words. You know, there's no words that you can say to make me feel better about this situation.
Obviously, you're never gonna forget your dad, and whatever happens in life, nobody can ever replace your dad. But how do you think you'll ever be okay? Do you think you'll ever be able to, I mean, obviously you're moving forward.
I think that holidays will be a little less hard as the years go by, but I think I'm still gonna miss him. You know, he was definitely central in all my holidays, and like, he was such a big presence. I don't think that that's gonna change, but I think that it's just finding ways to cope, finding ways to celebrate that person.
Just everything we're talking about. I'm sitting here like, oh, let me cherish who I have in my life, because like you're saying, you truly never know. You never know. Sometimes it can be a complete surprise. Yes, sometimes if your parents are battling with stuff, you might cross your mind, but you never know. Love them. Like, if you love somebody, tell them you love them. Tell them you love them. Make it known, and just sharing your own experience. And like you said, everybody's is different. I'm sure there's some people,
because like for me, like, you know, I wanted people around me when my dad passed. Other people may want to be alone. Like, this is just my own personal experience, but I thought it would be maybe cathartic for me and for people that are also struggling with this during the holidays. I know a few different people that have lost parents, and I'm just like, I wanted to let you know that you're not alone, and that there are ways to get through this. Just, you know, be kind to yourself. Take it day by day. Just
and be in your feelings. You can be in your feelings.
Yeah, sometimes you want to avoid that, but it's like, if you need to be in your feelings, be in your feelings. If you need to be alone, be alone. If you need some help, reach out to people, you know?
Yes. be open, and if you need help, you can always seek help also. So thanks, girl.